This episode is brought to you by White Cloud Coffee Roasters, where every bean tells a story of adventure and passion. Nestled in the heart of Idaho's mountain wilderness, White Cloud has been mastering the craft of coffee for more than 38 years, bringing the spirit of the outdoors into every cup. Discover the difference in their premium beans, meticulously roasted to capture the essence of the mountains. From robust, full-bodied classics to creative flavored blends, White Cloud coffees are designed for you to appreciate the subtleties of premium coffee. Now, listeners of our podcast can get an exclusive 10% discount. Just use the promo code CREATIVITY at checkout. Visit whitecloudcoffee.com and use the code CREATIVITY for your 10% discount. Start your adventure today. Journey to whitecloudcoffee.com. Tap into your most original thinking. Organize your ideas and create the opportunities to launch your creative work. Unlocking your world of creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator, Mark Stinson.
Welcome back, friends, to our podcast, Your World of Creativity. We've been traveling the globe, gaining creative experiences from brands of all kinds in entertainment, sound systems, furniture, hospitality, even in the pencil market. Today, we're going to be talking about a brand of organic juices. We're going to go from the farm to the bottle to your local store with Uncle Matt's organic brand. And I have Uncle Matt himself to talk to us, Matt McLean. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thanks for having me on today. Appreciate it.
You bet. I just love the title right off the bat. You're not only the founder, but the chief uncle at Uncle Matt's Organic. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's typically the question I get every time. Is it really an uncle? Yeah, it's really an uncle. And so I started this when I was 27. Now I'm 52. But the best part was when I was doing demos when I was 27 years old, people would go, "Who is Uncle Matt?" And I'd say, "That's me." And some people were just in dispute. They're like, "No way, you're Uncle Matt." I'm like, I have the youngest of three. I have two nieces and nephews at the time. So it was.
It's a title to live up to for sure. But so you've been growing this Uncle Matt's brand literally from the ground up, as you said, since you were 27, starting with, I read 3 acres in your dad's backyard. Was it really just 3 acres? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so he has a crazy story. Some fourth generation Florida citrus family. He had amassed, he and my grandfather at one time, 600 acres of conventional citrus in Central Florida, just here near Orlando. And the freezes of 1983, 85, and 89 wiped them out and literally killed everything right to the ground. They replanted later, but he just had 10 acres that he lived on, and where I grew up in his backyard, there was about 3 acres that was replanted. And so when I started Uncle Matt's in June of 1999, that was what was left of the 600 acres that they had, was just a little bit of citrus he had around his house. So it was quite the story of perseverance for my dad and granddad. They both became consultants and moved on to different parts within the industry and within the state after being grove owners to that amount. He'll tell you, we in one cold night, he went from having nothing but assets to nothing but liabilities, and the perseverance it takes for a person to overcome that. So when I started, it was, interesting that we, instead of the 600 acres, we started with the small amount, but then we grew from there.
Yes. And entrepreneurs face all sorts of obstacles and challenges, but when you're dealing with Mother Nature, that adds a whole nother layer, doesn't it?
It sure does. You do not have control over Mother Nature. That is for sure. And my granddad said it best, there were never 2 seasons that are the same. So if you love change, get into agriculture.
Love that. It certainly makes you earn I thought it was fun on your website. There's a t-shirt that says respect your elderberries, which I was going to be ordering right off the bat. But it brings a whole nother level of respect for the elderberries, doesn't it?
So we do some fun things with orange juice, and one of them is we added elderberry juice to it, and we called it Ultimate Immune. We boost it with C, zinc, and with D. But yeah, that elderberry is it's a tart berry, but it blends well with orange juice. And so we had a little fun being creative, right? So that was a creative tagline. So then came up with that, and it's fun on a t-shirt. It gets a lot of fun remarks as you walk around with respect your elderberries on
I can only imagine. Matt, let's get into some of the beverage business and trends and functional drinks and so forth. Uncle Matt's has that full line of organic beverages. It's great to see. I thought, hey, it's a great orange juice brand because that's how most people might know it. But you've got a real full line there. And is that capitalizing? What are some of the emerging trends, I guess? And how are you staying abreast of them?
Yeah, so really started with one item in June of 1999. It was pulp-free orange juice. Pretty simple, and it was organic. That's our real claim to fame is organic, farmed without harmful pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, those things. And from there, we have developed a full line beyond orange juice. And while orange juice is a kind of the category is flat to declining, but organic continues to grow. And so we've been able to be a nice little shining light in that category of growth for the OJ category. But then when you add on lemonades, punches, those are some things that we've done in addition to just orange juice. And then we put functional ingredients in orange juice. So, like I said, the Ultimate Immune that added elderberry. We also have one that's Ultimate Defense where we blended it with pineapple and ginger and then threw in turmeric and some probiotics that are healthy for the gut. So just going a little beyond what my parents and grandparents knew for breakfast every morning, which was just orange juice. We like to have a little bit more fun. We like to get the next generation involved, and you have to keep it interesting for them.
For sure. And for sure, a great product, a great tasting product. But you're really describing some of these consumer packaged goods, marketing and distribution, things that were really key to your growth. And there's so many aspiring entrepreneurs in the food space and the juice, and you mentioned functional beverages. Everybody says, boy, if I could just have a X%, if I could just have a foot of facing in the store, I would be great. What were some of the approaches you had to take to really build this distribution?
Oh boy. When we first started, we went local to a great little chain of health food stores called Chamberlain's here in Orlando in Central Florida. And they knew the customer base really well because we were organic and orange juice being healthy. So it was a no-brainer for them, but them alone is not enough to launch a real brand and a company and make some of the minimums that I had when I started out with in production with a co-packer. And when you do refrigerated and perishable, it's a really tough market and it's a tough game to play because when you produce, it's got a limited amount of time and you got to sell it. And we had minimum size runs. We had about 600 cases that we had to basically sell within a couple of weeks. And so that little 13 store chain needed to be much bigger. While they were committed to us and they loved us, and we got our, one item, pulp-free orange juice there, and they gave me about 3 or 4 facings of it. We needed more. So we went to Gooding Supermarket, which was now a conventional local chain. They had much bigger stores, 50,000, 60,000 square feet compared to the little 2,000 square foot health food store. So they had more foot traffic, more velocity, and that helped. And so we just built enough retail distribution that when I launched that 600 cases, I felt confident enough that I had a chance to sell it all. And we had a couple other produce distributors that helped when we got into Chamberlain's, a little health food store. It brought us in through that distributor, and that distributor had probably another couple hundred stores at least in there. And so when we did that, plus the conventional chain, I had enough, just barely, to get by. And boy, you want to talk about some pressure when you run those 600 cases, like, woo, clock's ticking.
That's right. I wanted to ask about that because shelf life obviously is important, especially in organics. How do you manage that from the tree to the bottle to the consumer's
Yeah.
refrigerator and keep it all as fresh as you want it to be?
So it's a pretty intense just-in-time model, right? So you have you have to be really good with logistics and distribution. You have to be good with production. We literally get invoices in or we get POs in from customers, and within 2 weeks, we're shipping their order.
Hmm.
So it's fast and furious. In the beginning, it was a little less organized because I was the one man band. So I wore all kinds of hats back then. I would take the order, I would line up the truck, I would line up the production schedule, and then I would actually do the invoicing. So
Mhm.
that was everything. Today, we're in a lot better position. I have a great team of experts back there that are helping keeping it flowing. But you have to be really good at all phases, and you have to be consistently great. So when that customer opens the bottle, every time it's consistently great and it tastes good. So they make sure that they buy it again. And you hope that if you're doing your job well, then they refer it to a friend.
Yes. Not many times on this podcast because we're all creative, sometimes too fluffy in the creativity. I love when I hear words like POs and logistics. Like this is where the
Yeah,
rubber meets the road.
we're probably getting way into the minutia.
I love it.
I'll get back at the high level stuff.
No, no. But you also mentioned team. And I can only imagine, obviously, you want to attract people with the right skills. But I'm thinking about aligning the team with your brand, with your mission. When
Yeah,
you're literally the uncle for these people, they've got to be believers, right?
yeah, absolutely. We're a mission-driven company right out of the gate, being organic. That's all we do. We don't compromise on organic farming. We believe it's a better way to farm. We believe it's better products that you put in your body, and long term, it'll be better for everybody. So it starts there first for us. And so when we get the team on board, we get team members in, they hopefully they are falling in love with our mission. And when they come to work, you're that little engine that could. And you're part of this team that nobody says that it can be done. And you're this little tiny challenger brand. And by gosh, we're going up against every day the David versus Goliath story. And so that it's juiced me, no pun intended, for
Yes.
25 years every day because I love what I do. We are that little engine that could. We overcome so much, and finding the right team members that will believe in you and want to get on that train with you. That's really important. We haven't got it right every time, but we got it right most of the time with hiring the right people. And I can tell you that the very first person I really got it right with was my wife because she is the creative mind behind Uncle Matt. She does all of our design work. It comes out of her mind. She does everything from packaging, does writing, all kinds of creativity. She's musically inclined, all of that. I am not. So,
Wonderful to have that kind of partner.
when you find that partner, that's the best thing you can do in life. And we just had our 18-year anniversary recently. And so it's awesome to know I was blessed with that in my life.
That's so good. And we were talking about Mother Nature and resilience and perseverance for sure. And as I was reading more about your business, this concept of citrus greening disease came up. And wow, that's got to be it's one thing to say we had a bad freeze, but this kind of disease, how is that affecting your business and your operation?
So it has completely changed our business model from when I first began. While we have always chased having enough supply, and while you had to go out and organic and convert growers to organic, you had to educate them about farming practices, and we spent a lifetime doing that at Uncle Matt's Organic. You then became, so we started in June of 99. By 2015, greening had really shown up in Florida, and citrus greening disease, while it doesn't affect human health and it doesn't affect anything in the juice that would make it bad for you to drink, it does affect flavor.
Mhm.
And it doesn't affect the tree because the tree does not fully mature and fully ripen the fruit. Hence the term greening disease. The citrus is still green, has a little bit of
Mm,
lemon and
I see.
lemon notes in it. But it was devastating then. It's still devastating today. It continues to just cut our industry every year by supply and by groves and growers and just reduces the total amount of volume. So we literally now, when we started up until 2015, we grew and sourced 100% of our own fruit for Uncle Matt's out of Florida. And then the little bug shows up, the disease shows up. And so it dramatically changed our business model because we had to move from Florida to Texas, California, and Mexico for our supply source. And what we have left today in Florida is merely research and development plots that my dad and brother, our lead agronomist, are running to try and find a cure for citrus greening disease. And there is no cure to date, conventional or organic. So we hope that eventually there will be a cure, but our industry has gone from a peak of 250 million boxes of oranges to last year they barely picked 25 million
Mm,
boxes of oranges in just that short period from about 12, I think, was that 250 to today, 2023, 2024. It's 25 million boxes. It's unbelievable how low we've gone in production from our peak.
yes. And I guess potential.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
but you remain committed to
Correct.
organic farming.
We do. There's no going back for me. There's not another method and another way to farm. And we truly believe it'll be better long term. And so we've just moved our grower base to those other regions. We actively work with them to combat citrus greening. Florida was ground zero because of our subtropical climate, the moisture level, the humidity level, all of it is just conducive to the little vector, which is like a mosquito,
Mm,
the Asian psyllid. It spreads the disease, it thrives here. Also, the bacteria actually thrives in growing here. It's a difficult environment to overcome greening, but when we do, it's one of the best environments, if not the best environment, to grow high quality organic citrus. So
hmm
we hope one day we can circle back here. That's why we've not moved to Texas or any of
hmm
those other locations. We keep our headquarters here in Florida.
I like this idea of R&D and experimentation,
Yes.
working to figure out. And what about the bigger picture, going beyond fruit, the organic movement? I think about a friend here in Idaho who does regenerative agriculture, advocacy for grains and other things. Is this movement here to stay?
I think so. It's very interesting now. The buzzword is regenerative agriculture, right? And most of those methods are basically organic farming. So it's a little bit more of a buzzword for organic farming, except there is organic regenerative, regenerative organic, which goes a little bit more in detail than just the USDA standards for organic farming, where you really need to use cover crops to help with your nitrogen and put compost and some of those things back on the soil. A good organic farmer already did that, but now you can go a step further and get it certified for regenerative organic. But I believe it is here to stay because it's sustainable, those methods. And whether you go all the way and be organic or you're just regenerative and use cover crops and composting and some of those things, I think you'll tell a difference. You'll tell a difference in the soil profile. You'll tell a difference in the health of your plants long term. We hope you go all the way and convert to organic so you don't have to use any of the harmful herbicides, which basically they kill all the friendly bacteria or kill a lot of the friendly bacteria in the soil using antibiotics. When you get
Mhm.
sick, you use antibiotics and it wipes out all your healthy gut bacteria. That's your natural defense mechanism. So you have to build it all back up. A lot of the herbicides and pesticides do the same to our healthy soil. So organic farming, we don't allow it. So you always are trying to build lots of populations of mycorrhizae, beneficial fungus, and other things in the soil that works in synergy and harmony with the plant. So it has better uptake of nutrients into that. So you get all the little miners of selenium and boron and zinc and molybdenum and things like that in that fruit or that plant that when your body eats it, it turns on all kinds of pathways and stimulates things in your body that it may not have known before because it was depleted from eating the regular conventional diet.
That's right. And this is all mission based for you and your team. But ultimately, it comes back to the consumer and to the
Correct.
extent they believe in sustainability and the good health attributes that you're talking about. And do you see that as strong demand?
I don't think it ever goes away that people are concerned about their health. I think the unfortunate part of the pandemic, there is at least a good thing that came out of it, which people are more focused on their health.
Mhm.
And hey, why did we get sick? How could we be more prepared for the next wave of whatever pandemic or illness that comes across? And it starts with healthy food and what you put in your body. How do we not have to rely on Operation Warp Speed and a vaccine to save lives? How about saving your own self and starting with a good, healthy diet, exercise, and eating, in our opinion, an organic, sustainable food?
Yeah. Let's circle back to the team and the fun and the creativity. I love that
Yeah.
you brought your wife and partner into the creative fold and infused
Yes.
that and you talked about hiring the right kind of people. You're going to hang up with me and you're going to get back to work. How do you keep the creative fires burning with yourself and your team?
What's awesome is in America, there is in capitalism, no profit goes up, right? Same with no good idea goes unchallenged. So as soon as you have something with your aha moment of, I think this is going to be awesome, eventually other people realize it's awesome too. And so you got to continue to create. You got to continue to recreate. You got to be innovative. And you got to be creative on how you market stuff, on how you develop your product and produce it. So for me, business is just, it's the ultimate game of creativity. And you're just always trying to come up with the next creative idea, whether it's a slogan, whether it's changing your look on your packaging, changing your marketing. All of that is creative, and it comes from the desire to win in the marketplace, the desire to have the best taste in product, to have customers that really love your product and tell other people about it. Those are all wonderful things that come out of just the desire to have a great creative company.
It's a good burn. I love that.
Correct.
Yeah. Matt, tell us where we can connect with you, your company, and learn more about your products and your work.
Yeah, we're very social. UncleMatts.com is the easiest place to find us. You also can find us on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm on LinkedIn. You can follow me, Matt McLean, on LinkedIn. I post real world stuff. It isn't all just about our products, but I talk about things we're doing out in the ag world, things we're doing creative and innovation, stuff like that. I like to help business entrepreneurs. If you're trying to find our product locally, if you go to unclemats.com and look on the product locator page, enter your zip code in there and it'll tell you exactly what stores nearby. We are sold in over 15,000 stores nationwide. You can find us from Hawaii to Alaska to Maine and even down in Puerto Rico.
Fantastic. I really appreciate you sharing these stories. I have found this to be a great overlap of agriculture, which I wasn't expecting a lesson on orange farming, but wow, it really brings it to life. This idea of organic, let's don't forget, it's about the agriculture. And so thanks for bringing that in. And of course, the creativity of the products and the packaging and the advertising, and like you said, the social media, all that's good stuff. Matt McLean has been my guest. I like to just call him Uncle Matt. From now on, he's just my Uncle Matt. Thanks for being on the show, Matt. I really appreciate it.
Hey, likewise, Mark. Thank you to you and to all of your listeners. Keep being creative. We need you.
That's right. And listeners, do come back for the next time. We've stamped our creative passport in Clearmont, Florida. It's west of Orlando, right between, if I get this right, the Minnehaha and the Mineola rivers or lakes. Matt's in a great location there. But we're going to continue our around the world travels. We'll be learning from creative practitioners everywhere about getting inspired and organizing ideas. But boy, as we've heard today, getting the commitment to get our work, our products out into the world and express our mission and our creativity in lots of different ways. So thanks to Matt McLean for being my guest. I'm Mark Stinson. Come back again next time and we'll keep unlocking your world of creativity.
Unlocking Your World of Creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator, Mark Stinson. This program was produced by BSB Media, creators of IntelliKey Leadership Stories, Unlocking Your World of Creativity, and thepeaceroom.love. Are you an author who's tired of the long waits and low royalties? Exact Rush is here to change the game. We specialize in publishing with precision, and we get your book to market in just 3 to 6 months, not years. But we're not just about books. We also support your photography, web design, and content creation needs. Our focus ranges from spirituality to pop culture, and we're excited about our diverse lineup of upcoming releases. So, if you're ready to keep more of your hard-earned money and get published faster, Exact Rush is your ticket. Visit exactrush.com and turn your creative dream into a profitable reality today.